Today we continue the lessons journey. Having walked fast, I was tired. So, who was tired here? The other felt tired because he walked down 3 kilometers down the road to meet his father. So he was tired. Moreover, I had to cross two hills on the way up to the spot. So, not only this, but also he has to cross two hills on the way to reach the spot. Spot means where he has to go from there. I quickly sat down on a rock. My father laughed at my plight. So he sat on a rock because as he walked down the 3 kilometers down, so he sat on a rock to take some rest. And his father laughed at his plight. Plight means sad situation by seeing the sad situation of the son. So this little distance has tired you. So the father said to his son, rest for a while. And this little distance, only 3 kilometers you walked down the road, and this little distance has tired you. He says, but we have to be in time for the bus. So remember one thing, my dear son, that we have to be in time for the bus because we should not miss the bus. And father was quiet for some time. Quiet here, calm. Quiet means calm. Quiet in the sense totally also it gives. Okay. So, QUIET quiet. Quiet means calm. QUITE quiet means totally, whole, entirely. So father was quiet for some time. Here quiet refers to calm. He remained calm. He did not have a talk with the son. And he thoughtfully looked at the sun for a moment. He thoughtfully looked at the sun for a moment, and then his eyes fell on the can of homemade wine that I was carrying. So what happened? He looked at the sun for a moment, and then his eyes fell on the homemade wine that he was carrying. And that is a homemade wine. Homemade wine means in the home they'll prepare some wine, so like a toddy. So that is taken from palm trees. In that way, this is a homemade wine and that I was carrying. Wetting his lips with his tongue, he said in a matter of fact manner, I am thirsty. And he says that finally, I am thirsty. As a matter of fact, means just simply he says that I am thirsty. Who says? The father says to his son. I gave him the can of wine. So he gave him the can of wine and he poured himself a mug and handed me the can. So he poured a mug in the can and he handed over the can to his son. He drank all of it at one go. So at a time he drank all of it at one go. He then arranged the belt that was attached to the trunk carefully on his forehead. See, we could see in the picture that a trunk box was there, and for the trunk box there is a belt which can keep here so that it will balance. I mean, he can balance those things. So this was the picture. Yeah, actually you could see that picture in the textbook and page number 78. You can see there. My father carrying my luggage on his back and me following with him, a tiny bag in my hand. So his father was carrying the luggage, whereas he followed his father with a tiny bag. Tiny means small bag in his hand, like a pouch. We were walking up a narrow hilly road, and neither of us uttered a word, as if we were strangers who spoke different languages. Here, both the family members has come from the same family, that is the father and son. The relation is father and son, even though while their journey is going on, while they were continuing the journey, they did not have a talk, as if they remained as if they were strangers who spoke different languages. Actually, they were not strangers. Both of them, they had come from the same family, even though they remain as if they were strangers who spoke different languages, Like as strangers, they remain calm. They did not have a conversation while the journey is going on. Now, I did not know what was going on in his mind. So he don't know that what father was thinking about him. Okay, the entire story here, the journey, entire thing goes on between around one thing. What is that? What was the solution? Sorry, what was the problem and what was the solution? Came up with the solution? So the problem is who will carry the trunk box right from his house to the bus stop, and who came up with a solution? His father came up with a solution. Okay, that he will carry the trunk box. He will carry the trunk by himself. So let us continue the things. See, from time to time it crossed my mind. What does it refers to here? It refers to, what does it refers to actually, children? It crossed my mind. Okay, it crossed my mind means here always he worries a lot about his father. That why he allowed his old father to carry the trunk box. Okay, that's what it worried him a lot. It was there always in his mind. It was rotating in his mind always. That why I allowed my old father to carry my trunk box. that it was improper for me to further carry the luggage. That is the thing. So it was improper, not proper. Opposite of proper is improper. I am im is the prefix we added for the proper, the main root word, so it becomes the opposite, improper. So it was improper for him to let the father carry the luggage. So why did he? Okay, it is improper for him, and moreover, he allowed his own father to carry the luggage. I wanted to tell him that I would like to carry the trunk by myself. Okay, so he wanted to carry the trunk by himself. Actually, he wants to say to his father that he wants to carry the trunk by himself. But what are the two things that stopped him from doing one thing? So this question will be asked in the form of MCQ. What are the two things that stopped him from doing one thing? What is that? Guilt and shame did not allow him to do the thing. What is that? Guilt and shame did not allow him to carry the trunk box. Okay, so here they give my guilt and shame did not allow me to do so. Yeah, because of these two reasons: guiltiness, feeling guiltiness, and feeling shame, ashamed of. Okay, these two, guilting, shy, shame, and guilty. Okay, these feelings. Because of these feelings, he could not carry the luggage. This self-consciousness had probably to do with my education. Yeah, see, self-consciousness means here self-respect, self-dignity, and all. See, when we are doing any one thing that we know whether it is right or wrong, that is called self-consciousness. One can decide whether it is right or wrong. One knows whether it is right or wrong. That is called self-consciousness. Had probably to do with my education. Even though he's an educated person, and he's worrying a lot that why he allowed his old father to carry the trunk box. That's what. And the white collar job that I had. See, what is the white collar job the other is doing? IAS. He is an IAS officer. Or quite simply my pride. Pride means being proud is called pride. So somehow I had the feeling that if I carried the luggage, my father and my people, in fact, the whole world would laugh at me and I would be belittled. So here, what is the feeling he is having? I had the feeling that if I carried the luggage, suppose if he carries the luggage, what will the village people think about him? What will the father think about him? Okay, and all the people will laugh at him. That why he allowed his, why he is carrying the luggage. Because previous paragraph also we come across one phrase. What is that? Education shuns physical labor. Shuns means what? Avoids physical labor. So in that sense, here as he is a IAS officer, or because of his pride, because of his guilt and shame, he could not carry the luggage by himself. That's why he allowed his old father to carry the trunk box. That's why, in fact, suppose if he carries the luggage, what will happen? The people will laugh at him, his father will laugh at him, and all the entire world will laugh at him, so that he would be belittled. Okay, if he should feel very guilty and shame if it happens so. Okay, then in the next class, I'll ask you the paragraph right from having walked fast, from there to be belittled. Okay, and there are so many synonyms and antonyms also in this paragraphs, so better find out what they are. And now this is a narration. The present lesson, the journey, is a narration, and what you have to do is you have to create a number of things. I mean, the discourses we can create. For example, minor discourses we can plan. For example, diary. What are the feelings of the author when he allowed his old father to carry the trunk box? Write in the form of a diary. Okay, diary entry we can write down. So how to write a diary? So it's a minor discourse. It carries 5 marks, and parameters also we can go through the parameters. So on the left hand side top, we have to go with the date, day, and time. These three things are compulsory. Diary entry, that heading is not required. Okay, then coming to dear diary, that is also not mandatory. Both the D's are capital, dear diary. Then we go with the matter. Finally we say signature on the left hand side and XYZ. That is the format of the diary, and all this diary should be in the box. Entire diary should be in the box. So that layout, box means here layout carries 1 mark. So the parameters you have to follow while following the minor discourses. Okay, thank you.